There's multiple deans. Yeah. So there's multiple deans where my area, we're the crisis response team. So sometimes I'm on call all weekend. So something happened at 2-3 in the morning and they need me to come to campus. I'm up. I'm headed to campus, right? Responding. Managing like high level, concerns on the campus, and I supervise a team of 5, I think 4 or 5 at this point, and that we're the ones doing it, man.
Cause shit can't come between us. Clear a rat, shout out to Venus. I'm so high, might go to Venus. Fly with a beam and it came with a penis. Vino put me on them pieces. Hate on me, man, fuck them niggas. They even hated Jesus. Yeah, I'm rocking out.
Welcome back to another episode of Make Something Shake, you feel me? And I know everybody from something like, I know that's not who I think it is, right? That is who you think it is. I know he's been going for a minute, but I usually introduce my guests, right? And I want to introduce them, but you know what? I'm going to see how you want to introduce yourself. So how would you introduce yourself now?
Oh, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. But I think now when I think back to, growing up in Sumter, now when I talk to even students and folks I work with, I let them know I'm a country boy I'm from Maysville, South Carolina, which is part of Sumter County, but we Maysville, man. So we let folks know, but I'm a young millennial that's really tried to build myself up on being a leader, I'm a mentor, and really just advocating for the next generation, man. That's who I am.
All right.
So listen, he was being nice about it. He was being nice about it, but it's, Crestwood alumni. You feel me? From Maysville, of course. A leader, a black man in a white location. I'm not gonna say it as it should be said. You feel me? Leading our community. He's a college graduate, right?
That's
not it. Listen, my dog. He is associate?
Yeah.
Dean.
Yes, sir.
Y'all heard Dean, DEAN
Big dog
of students. You feel me? That's not the little dog type stuff. So we got a little bit of everything on the podcast. This is my dog, Harry Titus. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being in the building, man.
I appreciate it. Y'all hyping me up, man.
You gotta start popping your shit.
I'm gonna need this intro. I'm gonna need just send me this part.
You gotta have to start popping your shit, bro. You done came a long way.
I appreciate it.
Listen, though.
It's a beautiful thing.
This is how I start my podcast off, right? When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up? Because I know this can't be what you wanted to be. So when you was young, what was your dream, bro?
That's crazy. I think like a lot of us growing up, when I was young, I think I wanted to, I thought I was going to make it to the league. I was going to be a basketball player. But when I got to high school, I was like, that ain't going to happen, right? But I think I wanted, basketball definitely helped me prepare for where I'm at now. And I think... I don't think folks always understand the power of sports, man. Whether you are the best person on the team or whether or not you're a bench player, man, learning how to work through adversity, learning how to be a team player. Yeah. And when you got that coach, especially when you get a coach that look like you, that invests in you, man, that takes it way further than, the whole just goal of being in the league.
Who was your coach at Crestwood?
Had Coach Ronnie Brown and Coach Edwards, man. They were, they taught, sports teach you a lot of life lessons, man, sure. Regardless. And so, I think when I got to the age where I knew, I wasn't even getting up in the morning working out, I wasn't really taking it serious in the gym. I was like, cool. I probably won't make it to the league, but how can I use these skills that I learned through the game to really help me in whatever I want to be, right? Sure. And so then I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Law school sounded good for a while. That was the next thing. Law school was the next thing. So the league and law school, but neither one of those happened.
All right. So that was your two dreams. Cool. Yeah. So you was at Crestwood. Everybody knows. Well, not everybody doesn't know where Crestwood's at, but you was at Crestwood. You feel me? Something I was beating on them too back in the day. But listen, as we were talking earlier, we didn't see some of the best people come through Crestwood, basketball players. But people don't understand what sports in general, what it takes you through, the discipline it teaches you, the amount of work ethic it takes just to be okay at the game. Not even good, okay. Yeah. But so you're at Crestwood. Once you realize you weren't going to the league, okay. Now I guess it's 12th grade. who told you here you need to go to college, or were you like, man, I'm going to college? That's just the way.
Not at all. You know, I think like a lot of us, man, college was not always at the forefront, right? Like, you know, I mean, I have 5 other siblings. I'm the youngest. I'm the only one who went to college. So, you know, I think for me, yeah.
All right, you said older sibling?
I have 5 older. I'm the youngest. I'm the only one that went to college. And I think for me, I remember it's crazy, you know, growing up in small towns, we went to church. You know, you had to go to church.
Yeah.
There was a lady at my church that told me, she was like, man, you need to think about going to college. And I went home, I literally Googled best party school in South Carolina. And Coastal popped up.
Hey, you fell in the right one.
And literally I applied, and that's kind of how it happened. That was kind of how I got to college.
So somebody told you, and then you just like, man, let me see what's going on.
Yeah, because, man, you know, the other option was the military. Like, we didn't have many options. You know, military, right. Probably working, you know, at a factory for 12 hours or you go to college. And so I didn't want somebody telling me what to do 24/7, so the military was out. You know, the whole idea of 12 hours of manual labor every day, that was out. Yeah. So, you know, I was like, you know, all right, let's go to college.
All right, so, boom, you got to college, right? Was it what you expected it to be at first?
Nah.
No?
Nah, I think, you know, I didn't have a guide or anything because I was the only one in my immediate family to go. So I didn't have someone saying like, this is what to expect. I legit really thought it was gonna be, you know, what we see on television. You know, you get there and it's just, you know, everything's real nice. And, which a lot of it is, you know. But the first weekend was much wilder, I think, than I was ready for or expected. And then I thought that was gonna be college, like every night, like wilding, you know. But
it could have been though.
It could have been, but you know, you had to make a decision, you know. But I think eventually college became what I wanted it to be. So you know what I'm saying? Like I was eventually able to make it what I wanted it to be.
Sure. Did you feel any pressure from your parents?
I felt pressure from the community, man, because I was like, if I don't make it, then who? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so everybody, when I went to college, was like, that's gonna be the doctor, the lawyer, you know. And so I was like, I can't fail. You know what I'm saying? Like the pressure from just the hometown was, you got to be, you know, from my homeboys who, you know, were always like, you're gonna be the one. And so like that was always playing in the back of my mind. Yeah. So regardless of whether I wanted to do it, man, I felt like I had to do it for the hood. If I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? So it was more so for the home team than myself a lot of times.
I'm glad you said that because I want to know, like, to you, does it feel like it's harder for everybody to believe in you or for nobody to believe? Because, you know, people be like, nah, nobody believed in me and now I'm here.
I think it's harder when everybody believes.
I think so too, bro.
Because, I mean, you letting a lot of people down. You know what I'm saying? The pressure of being the underdog, I think, is much easier. If you're the underdog and nobody think you're going to make it, that's so much easier. Exactly. You only disappoint one person. That's
exactly. That's how I feel.
You got when you got the whole team riding for you, man. It's hard. You got a lot of people on your back, man. So I think it's much harder that way.
For sure. All right. So you in college? What was your major?
Man, I went through a few majors.
You went through. What was your first?
I did. So I started. It was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be an education major because you know I was like at that point I was like law school ain't gonna happen. So I'm gonna just be a teacher. I'll go be a teacher, not just be a teacher. I think teachers are.
Wait, so it was law So
I started out. First I was like I'll go major in political science and go to law school. That was first. Yeah. Check my first class. So now I was like, cool, education major. That'll work. So I'll go be a teacher. You know, I enjoyed I wanted to coach and you know do all of that. Coach Carter was my favorite movie at the time, so you know I was like, you know what I'm saying. I was like, I'm gonna be Coach Carter, you know what I'm saying. Junior year as an education major, man, I was like, I don't want to teach. I had passed the first praxis, like the tests and all that. I got into the classroom, changed my mind. So then I was like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? And so I took the route of like, sure, I'm gonna just do interdisciplinary studies. I just need a degree. You know, so I literally finished with the interdisciplinary studies degree with no idea what I was going to do next.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you got 2 degrees?
Yep, and I have a third one in May.
That's what's up.
This nigga taking school. Like, I don't know. I don't know, bro, because nowadays, I'm not going to lie. So 3 degrees, bro.
I will, yeah. May.
3 degrees. Check this out. From what I've seen, for me getting my degree, I don't even, like my degree helped a little bit. But you don't really need a degree to be in a great position in life. So what's making you get 3?
Yeah, man. And so this is going to be a little more philosophical here. Okay, but I truly have a philosophy that education truly is still the single-handedly most thing to get people out of poverty.
For sure.
I truly believe that.
A degree.
And so for me, the research still shows, and this is research, it still shows that a bachelor's degree is still one of the single-handedly most things to get folks out of poverty. And again, being out of poverty and making a lot of money is a very different things. And I think a lot of times we think being out of poverty and making a ton of money that's the only other option. There's a lot of in between.
Is there like a disconnect from like when you do get the degree towards like, let's say if you want to get a job, is there like a disconnect from that? Because it's a lot of people that do get the degrees and, you know what I'm saying, don't get a job.
Don't get the job. That's true. So I think for me, because I work in higher education, I mean, a lot of times you have to have the degrees to even move up. And so do I believe you have to have a degree to be successful? Absolutely not. I don't think you have to have a degree. I mean, we can probably sit here and name off a ton of people, right? But there's something for me to have that as a backup. If I decide if something happens and I decide I need to lean back on my degrees, I think I could still do all right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, man. You don't. I mean, we know a lot of people that graduate from college and, you know, they still struggling.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But check this out. You say it gets you out of poverty, but I feel like a degree to put me in poverty with student loans. I'm not saying.
That's real too. No, that's real. And people, that's real too. And I think I've been a little more fortunate because I've set myself up to work on a college campus where a lot of times I can get my degrees for free.
That's a fact.
Right. And so I think for me, it looks a little different. But it's true. I mean, student loans is real, man.
Yes,
and but I still believe that the experience that I got in college also helped me where I'm
check this out. Let's say all the degrees. I'm just gonna put out a number, fake number. Say all your degrees, $100,000 he's paying student loans, right? What if you use that $100,000 to travel, play, like instead of, you know what I'm saying? The experiences you would have had traveling would have been probably way better and way higher learning than being.
That's real. But see, for me, my degrees have allowed me to travel too. Like I've been able to take my experience to take students overseas, to take myself overseas to do research. Okay. And so like those are also, you know, I don't feel like I've missed out on the traveling while getting my degrees, right? Cool. I'll have, you know, next year I'll have a doctorate in May.
That's right? Good. So I'm not against degrees at all.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, and right now I'm also looking at, can I do any postdoc research in another country? Right, so I'll be able to go study in another country, hopefully for free. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so I think it really depends on you as an individual, right? For sure. I know me, like being a business owner or being someone like that ain't me. Like I'm not like I need to know this time I'm getting a paycheck on this day. You know, like that's just not my personality. I can't just move somewhere and try and start a business or be freelance. That's just not for me. But I big ups to the people that can do it because I think there's a lot of money in that, right?
A lot of money in both, though.
It is, but there's a lot of money in being your own boss. You know what I'm saying? And being able to
a lot of headache too, though.
I bet.
Yeah. You know? A lot of headaches.
But I think that's the thing too, man. I think people see the outcome, but they don't understand like what took us to get there, right? And so everybody want to be an influencer or that, or you know, and they're like, man, that look easy. Yeah. If you've seen the late nights, the headaches, the fail papers, right? The professor telling me to redo 26 to 32 page paper, man. Like that's, you know.
Where did that discipline come from?
Man, I think for me, I know where I came from. Yeah. And so that stays right there in the mind, man. Okay. And so I just don't want to get back there. Okay. And so for me, it's whatever it takes to not have to get back there. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Makes perfect
sense.
sense.
In sports, man, people don't. I know I'm going to make sports with y'all because we played it, but like the discipline we learned through just sports alone too, man. Right. Like getting blown out in a game is hard, right? Like let's be real, that shit's hard, right? Yeah. But you get back up and do the shit the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all got blown out though. Did y'all have to come like when we got blown out? We had to come back that night. And run
100%. If you don't know Ronnie Brown, like I'm telling y'all, like if you ask anyone that came through Crestwood that know Ronnie Brown, that was normal. I'm talking about, you know, we got off the bus from coming back an hour drive from somewhere. That's to the locker room and change. Go ahead and call your parents on the bus, let them know they need to wait another hour. You know what I'm saying? But that was Ronnie Brown, man.
That's crazy.
So yeah, and so like, but that taught us like in college or in your businesses, your careers, man, you fail, you get up the next day, you do it again.
Sure.
Same thing we did in sports.
All right. So okay. Well, speaking of you, I didn't know you had 5 siblings. Like, how was that even growing up, bro? Like, what the heck?
5, man. Yeah, six of us growing up in the house.
Dang.
I got 5 siblings by my mom and my dad, and then I have 2 half siblings as well. So my dad remarried. I have 2 half siblings as well. Okay. So it's really 8 of us.
I'm about to say, the whole village.
Man, it was fun though, man. It was it was always something going on in the house, man. You know, whether we was fighting, whether we were playing games, you know, something was going on.
So it was cool. Then it was like,
I mean, yeah, for the most part, but being the youngest, you know, it made me tough.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying? It made me a tough person.
All right, cool. So now you sit here, associate dean. First of all, you know, I know what a dean is, but tell me what associate dean is. All right, tell me that don't know.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So it really, man, I oversee a team of folks, and our job is to really on this campus is to really make sure the safety and well-being of our students is A1 basically. So whether that's behavioral concerns, like students dealing with any type of issues, we're really the team. We're addressing that, you know, through various things. So a lot of people from high school think of it as like a principal or guidance counselor, right? Yeah. Principal or guidance counselor.
Are you a different type of dean though, or is there like a dean and then
there's multiple deans? Yeah. So there's multiple deans. Where my area, we're the crisis response team. So like sometimes like I'm on call all weekend. So something happened at 2-3 in the morning, and they need me to come to campus. I'm up. I'm headed to campus, right? Responding. You know, managing like high level, concerns on the campus, and I supervise a team of 5, I think 4 or 5 at this point, and you know that we're the ones doing it, man. But yeah, so for a college campus, a lot of people see it as like a principal or a guidance counselor. That's probably the easiest way to like.
So that's what it kind of is, sort of.
A little bit, yeah. You know, we adults in college, so but folks still make decisions, and so we address them and we meet.
So okay, give me like a prime example of like what you would do. It's like I need like an example so everybody else will know like
so 2 different examples. So let's say a student end up in the hospital one night for overdosing.
Okay.
And they pass away. Let's just say it happens.
Oh,
right?
Shoot.
I'm usually the one bringing everybody together on campus, making the right people aware, communicating with the family, working with the police to make sure they're doing their investigation. Sometimes we're having to do an investigation on campus to see what happened. So I'm like a part of all of that.
Okay.
And so coordinate with the family, get them down here when they need to get here. Make sure there's, the roommates or friends or whatever, making sure they're straight, make sure they got some support.
So you like a dean? That's not really a principal. That's like
principals do that. I think we always see principals as just the bad guy. Like and that's the other side of it too, right? Student get arrested. We address that. Like student get arrested for drugs or DUI. When they get out of jail, they gotta come meet with us. They gotta come have that conversation.
So how does that go? Because I remember, one time my friend on Coastal campus got in a fight, right? And luckily he got to stay. But sometimes, how's that decision go? Like, what do y'all go? Like, what's the process?
Yeah. So let's say a student got in a fight. Whatever, they gotta come meet with us. So they meet with us. We basically start off by reading over what happened, the police report. So we usually get a police report. We read it with the student. We explain to them what is, and then we talk about where that fall in the conduct, the code of conduct. So you know about the student code of conduct, and so for that's kind of like that's kind of how we determine what happens. All right. So they meet with us. We explain it. They got the opportunity to agree to it, or they can say I didn't do it. If they got witnesses, we'll bring them in. We'll have conversations with the folks that were there. Then we're looking at it from the code. Let's say that's that first time getting in trouble on campus. That may fall in a very specific round of what will happen. whether that's community service, whether that's going to certain type of classes, right, or whatever. Now, if this, let's say they got in a fight and it's really bad, it's a third fight, that could also lead to them being expelled. So they could be gone forever.
Okay, this is a real real conversation now.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? I don't want to put you in the spot like that.
Nah, go for it, man.
All right, have you seen there be a discrepancy between white and black as far as stuff happens? Because
that's real. That's real. I'll be honest, that happens. I mean, let's be honest. Like, we know that happens.
But
right?
I'm saying, I feel like now that a person like you was in that position, you could.
I'm looking at stuff, and I look at that stuff. Like, I do audits every year to see, like, all right, was there imbalance to a certain population versus the others? Yeah. And if it is, like, me and my team, we really figuring out how we can fix that. Like, we having that, And I will say, over the last few years, we've really addressed that here, And I think we can be honest, on college campuses in general, that's a problem, right?
Sure.
Where sometimes there is an imbalance or bias towards specifically black men. Mm-hmm. And so my research is actually around that for my doctorate, is looking at
for real?
Yeah. Okay. So looking at black men and sort of the engagement on college campuses and how that impacts how people portray them. So like I'm looking at a lot of that in my research.
So when you get it, though, this is a side question.
Yeah.
When you get it, you want to be Dr. Titus.
Hey, listen, it was a lot of school. I spent a lot of time in school. So.
You had a counselor for this position? Because you seem like you got it down pat, bro. Like,
say that again?
Like, somebody trained you for this position or anything? Or
not experience, man. I kind of jumped into it. I've been doing this type of work, obviously not as high as now, but since I started working on college campus. But it took a lot of experience, a lot of learning, a lot of conferences, a lot of trainings to kind of prepare myself for that. And I'm still learning, man. Like every day, I'm like, man, I ain't never seen that shit before. Yeah. What do we do in that situation, man? But I think the biggest thing is the representation, man. Having students that look like me, being able to see me here, and like knowing that when they come in this office, regardless, they're gonna be straight.
That's why I like seeing you here, bro. That's what I'm saying. So.
That's dope.
You weren't here, so can you tell the people, because you didn't just end up at Coastal, you weren't at Coastal your whole career.
No.
Can you just give us a little
So I started at Coastal. So I graduated from undergrad, and I worked for the county for like a year, left that job, came back to Coastal, worked here while I was getting my master's degree. So
you started at Coastal at first. What were you doing at first, though?
Yeah, so coordinator doing the same work, was I was working for the associate dean that actually just left, and I just took her job. So cool. I was working for her, doing a lot of the same work. So I did that for about 2 years. Then I went to North Carolina. Worked at Elon University, which is it's a private school, sort of mid-sized private school, very affluent, wealthy school, which was very different than being at Coastal.
Is it black girl school?
No, it's primarily white school. The percentage is pretty high.
I just know the basketball team.
But their percentage of white versus black students is pretty high. Okay. Worked there for 3 years. And then I came back here in August. So I was the assistant director there doing the same type of work. And then I came back here in August of last year, 21, as a director. So directing an office, doing very similar work, and then did that for 9 months, and then they promoted me to associate dean.
Okay.
That's crazy. So that's crazy though.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you didn't think you were gonna be here, right?
No.
There's no way you thought you was gonna be a dean.
Not at 28. Not at 28, man.
Yeah,
no, that's
dope,
quick
man.
too, bro. That's crazy. So
quick.
I want to talk a little bit about some numbers. Like, you ain't got to give yours, but I'm just saying, what is a regular dean's numbers that you know what I'm saying? Just a regular. You know what I mean? That's what I know people, not yours.
I get to eat really well and take some vacations when I want. It depends, honestly. It depends on where you at, like what kind of school. I mean, you have some folks in this type of job making 6 figures.
Really?
Easily. Yeah.
I did not think y'all made 6
figures. I won't tell y'all what I make, but you got some people making 6 figures in this job. I think on the lower end, you're looking at $75,000, $80,000 on the lower end. So on the lower end, I would say that, and then high end, I mean, depending on the school, you got some people 130, 140.
You get anything for being a dean? Like, I guess, like free clothes or housing or something, or like.
I wish. I get a headache. Yeah, so I mean,
You had to buy that. That's what you're saying.
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get like coastal stuff
Yeah.
sometimes, or I get all access pass to certain games if I want. Like, so if I want to be on the field at a football game, or I'm on the field, but I'm also there kind of watching because things happen.
So you always on the job type thing.
A lot of times, yeah, man. And I mean, I get invited to a lot of meetings or dinners or this place to talk about what we do. So yeah, there's some perks to it. Yeah.
Sound like you're passionate about it though, bro.
Man, I do. I love it, man. 'Cause I do think higher education. Yes, I think we got to do some work around student loans. I think cost of higher education is ridiculous. Yeah, I'll be the first one to say. I mean, because you're right. If you rack up $100,000 in student loans and then your first job is paying you $45,000 a year, how do you justify somebody working? And so.
Which leads to bad credit, which leads to it's a whole.
And so I like to tell people I'm not just here working every day. Like I'm behind the scenes a lot fighting for stuff like that, for reducing student loans, like sending letters to our Secretary of Education, really asking how can we make this better, because I think access to it should be for everybody. Everybody should be able to go to college if they want, and not worry about the long-term impact of how I'm gonna feed my family after I graduate. So I agree. Right, yeah. I agree 100%.
But okay, so with that being said, right? If you can start over, what would you do differently to get to this? Matter of fact, to get here where you're at right now, like what would be something you would have done differently? That would have made it easier.
Man, that's hard because everybody I talk to and who work in higher ed is like, it's unheard of to be 28 and being a associate. Differently. I probably would have taken a little more my undergrad class a little more serious, so I would have maybe gotten a few more scholarships than I did. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been a little more serious in that.
Speaking of, do y'all do like special scholarship program or like some kind of scholarship? I don't even know how it works. Like
for a coastal?
Coastal type thing.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're majoring in, there's a lot of. I mean, there's so many. That I will tell you, and that's something we don't do great in high school, man. But there's a lot of free money out there for college.
I know, and that like.
How do you get access to that though?
That's the thing, man. I think colleges got to do a better job talking to the high schools about what's out there, because. A lot of times, man, free money just goes to waste because no one knows out there. You know what I'm saying? And so my little niece is in 10th grade now, and I'm already like, look, I need you this weekend. You need to be researching right here, looking at these. Are you eligible? Man, there's scholarships out there for everything. Left-handed, if you're left-handed, there's scholarships out there for
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
So there's just so much free money out there, and so I think I would have probably done that a little different too, like put more energy and effort into like the free money that's out there, and probably not take as big of a refund check of those loans that now I got to pay back. But that's how we pay for our rent.
You're right. They do go like that though.
So,
housing is expensive though. I ain't gonna lie to you, but so okay, you're a dean. Is there any like side projects you have or anything that you're doing?
Yeah, man, always. So one of the things that I'm working on now, man, is trying to start a consulting company to go and train a lot of colleges on kind of how to build their team, how to manage their what's happening on their campuses. And so I'm working on that with one of my doctoral classmates, who's also an associate dean, a black guy. He's 33, 34, and so he's still young as well. And so we're building that. And we'll be able to go to colleges and work on that. AIM was here when you was here, I think. African American Initiatives for Men. So I advise that group. So there's a group on campus here of just black men. We meet bi-weekly just to have conversations about what it is to be a black man on a predominantly white institution. And so I advise that group. So me and you probably know him as Dean Overton. He was a dean of students. It's been a while.
I didn't know. I'm gonna tell you.
You old now.
I didn't know. First of all, I'm gonna tell you. I did not know one person outside of you not partying or playing basketball.
Yeah, that's real.
Number two, I did not know any groups. Unless it was computer science, and they was you didn't want to be in them groups.
Yeah.
So other than that, I didn't know anything.
That's real, but there's a group of that's a group here on campus that's been around for a minute, and so I was in it when I was a student, and so now I advise that group, and we literally meet, and we have like what we call barbershop talks. You know, you go to the barbershop, you talk about any and everything, man. And so that's what we do. And it's just a group of black men, man, where they can come in there. They don't got to worry about what's happening outside. They don't got to worry about, you know, being judged by someone that don't look like them. And
so it's like a safe space.
Yeah, and we have some real conversations in that group, man. Yeah.
Sounds like you're aspiring to be like more than the dean. Like, do you see?
100%. 100%. The job is the foundation, man. Okay. Like that. The job pays the bills. That ain't the impact for me. You know what I'm saying? The job is the foundation for the access to all the other things I want to do.
So, what do you want to do? This is the question.
Yeah, I mean, I want to continue to move up in the job. I'll be honest. You know, I have a goal of, you know, being a vice president before 40. And so.
So what is the? Okay, hold on. Let's rewind. Let's rewind. How do you even get to being a dean? Is it just like you got to become a director? Like, what's the path to being a dean? Or is there multiple ways you can get there?
Multiple pathways, man. Really? You know, my pathway has been fast. You know, most people, you know, they're usually 36 to 38 when they become an associate dean. Yeah. So I'm about 10 years ahead of the curve. But from here, you know, the next thing will probably be like an assistant vice president and dean of students would hopefully be my next job.
And then dean.
And then, well, that is the dean. And then the step from that would be, the vice president. So that's the person that supervises the dean. Okay. So that would be, you got vice presidents, depending on where you go. They make in some schools $300,000-$400,000.
God,
so
depending
on the school, you know, if you go to schools like a big name school, you know, Power
this
5.
This is becoming one of those.
It is. And, yeah, man. So that would be next would be like I said, like an assistant vice president and dean of students. So like the actual dean and the AVP, and then from there, hopefully like a vice president. And so
this is what you see yourself doing.
Yeah, man. And people ask me that all the time, like, you know, because we are seeing in higher ed, I'll be honest, a lot of people leaving. A lot of people leaving the field because they are like, I can go work in tech and work from home.
For sure.
Make way more money, make way quicker. But for me, man, like, I leave work feeling good. Like, I literally leave here feeling like, man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think anytime you can figure that out, it's never a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like So yeah, I leave work and I'm like, I'm good. I mean, I'm thankful that, you know, a lot of people say, yeah, you can say that because where you at 28, what you're doing is not what most 28 years in the field they're doing. So I understand that too. Like part of it could solely be because I am at a place where, you know, I'm pretty content, but like I'm never complacent, man. So I'm always trying to figure out what's next.
Okay.
That's all right. So, you know, we're coming to the end, but I need to ask you first off, like, what's your 5-year goal from here? Yeah, so 5 years from now, obviously, I have my doctorate. If I can write and pass everything this year, I'll be next summer. But in 5 years, definitely, I would like to be in an assistant vice president job. So for 5 years from now, so 33.
It's possible, bro.
It's possible. Woo.
Yeah.
You're going to have to know a lot of them other people to get in there. You got to be very friendly.
Man, but I've learned, man, like, I'll be honest, you're right. I mean, sometimes it is about who you know.
Exactly.
But I've learned, man, it's a lot about what you know, too.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure.
Because once knowing somebody can get you access, but what you know is what kind of sustains it and keep you there, right? Like, I think a lot of people are like, man, it's all about who you know. That's part of it. But if you don't know shit once you get there,
I don't know, because like I feel like if I can get access into a position, I can learn it. Like, there, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what you know. But you learn it, right? But a lot of people feel like they can solely lean on just who you know. Like who you know will get you. That gets you access. Sure. But like if you don't know what you're doing, you're out of there in no time, man. And so I'm constantly trying to perfect my craft now, man, because any day, vice president, president can walk in like you're not needed here.
Sure.
You know, like, and at that point, if I don't know shit, like it's gonna be hard for me to be able to tell the next school or the next person what I know.
That's the scary part. That's the part I don't never want nobody to have that much control over me. You know what I'm saying?
As you move up in your career, I've learned, especially in higher ed, man, it's kind of like it's very similar to sports. And a lot of people don't think that. It's very similar to if that coach gets fired, usually the whole team, the whole coaching staff usually gets fired.
Yeah.
And so for me, as I move up, once I become a vice president, if that president is gone, that whole team, the next president can come in and be like, I want my whole cabinet out. So it's all about, as I'm doing what I'm doing now, man, I'm always trying to build networks and connections with people all over because I might need to call them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
They just let my ass go. I need a job, man. So, so yeah, man. So it's very similar. And so again, I still use that mindset of the game, and people are like, what you mean? Like, one, I try and know my personnel, everybody that I'm working with. I know, if you got somebody on your team that ain't got quick reflexes, you're not throwing them no-look passes on the court.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? And so the same thing in my job, I try and learn everybody on my team, their strengths, what they're good at, so that that shit makes me look good.
Exactly.
When they're performing at their best, I look good. Mm-hmm. And so, for me, 5 years, I want to be able to do that on a bigger scale with more people as an assistant vice president.
So one thing that I know that works, like say, maybe I did something, somebody helped me. Usually I give the other person the credit most of the time because that's going to make them feel good and they're going to do better for you because you know what I'm saying? It just works that way.
That's real.
So my last question is, this is the final question I always ask everybody. I read a book one time and it says if you ask 99 people what they want to be in life or what they want at the end of their life or whatever, they'll say money, peace, or whatever, happiness, you know what I'm saying? But if you ask them a plan to get in there, they'll never have one.
That's real.
So what do you want most in life?
Man, I think for me, man, I want to be able to make the people around me better. Like, that is literally what I want. And I don't need the money. I've been broke. I grew up broke. So I know, I can survive being broke. You know what I'm saying? We know money does give us access to a lot of things. But if I never made another dollar, if I can make people around me better, I'm good, man. And that's why I love what I do, though, because I feel like I have the ability to make everyone around me better. Do I love the paycheck that come with it? You damn right.
Yeah, I say that sounds good.
You damn right. But I promise you, I can do this stuff for the rest of my life and be broke and still be satisfied.
That's what I said. It sounds like you're real passionate about that.
Like that, and that's a real talk. I love nice things. I love money, but I feel like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because when I leave, man, I can't take that.
Yeah,
right.
You invest in it?
Mm-hmm.
You invest?
All the time. Okay. All the time. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna make sure whoever, if I decide to have kids one day and all that stuff, they're gonna be straight. You know what I'm saying? They'll be all right.
So you're not looking right now, though. You
nah, man. I got too much more I want to do personally. Listen. Kid, man, that's another mountain.
I feel it.
I'm a little selfish right now when it comes to the money, man. I'm a little selfish when it comes to the money. So I'll be honest.
You want to drop your social media handles or anything? Or are you good on it?
Yeah, man. Follow me. I'm boring on social media. I don't do a lot. It's my name. You know what I'm saying? So you can find me on social media. That's the other thing, man. Working in higher ed, I gotta make sure I tame my social media. So. You can learn a lot on my social media.
Listen, matter of fact, before you end it, do you get any because I know, I'm gonna say, do you get any females? Because college females now, even though they ain't college no more, but they'd be like, oh, hear me.
Man, I think I'll be very honest. I think I've been able to separate that. Okay. Like, I position myself in a place now where that's not an option. You know what I'm saying? For sure. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. And I think that is important. And I tell people, regardless of the career you're in, man, don't shit where you sleep like that. It is not. Don't mess that up, man. I'm telling you, because that is the easiest way to lose all credibility, your whole reputation. And so when I'm at work, I'm at work. I'm a very serious person when I'm at work. Like, I take what I do very seriously. And so students know when they come in here, they're not coming to talk to Harry. Students call me Mr. Titus or Dean Titus. Like, I don't even try and muddy that water. It's not worth it.
Yeah, listen.
A one-time hello is not worth your
y'all don't know Chris with hair now. He used to throw hands in there. Y'all don't know Chris with hair now.
Listen. Yeah. I mean, and make no mistake about it. Chris Crystal and Harry is still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't never left. But at the end of the day, and when Crystal and Harry need to pop his shit, Crystal and Harry can pop his, but like,
everybody
you know what I'm
grows
saying?
up, though.
Yeah, like how you elevate, but at the end of the day, like, I know where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's so crazy, bro. I know about the end of it. You said that I was talking to two of my closest friends from high school the other day, and they was like, man, if only them motherfucking kids do.
Exactly. That's crazy, bro. Crazy scene.
Walking through the halls at the drop of a dime, trying to knock somebody out.
Exactly, bro. Like,
you know what I'm saying? But man, that's the beauty, man, of life, man. We get to elevate
Yeah,
in our own way too, man. Like
Yeah.
you know, and I'm proud of everybody that came from the hood and that's
for real, though.
elevate and be better.
That just makes me happy to see people.
Yeah.
Especially like, I would never thought, I ain't go out here. I would have never thought.
Period. Bro. That's what you told me. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
that's crazy, bro.
I mean, either. I mean, I'll be honest. When I look at my high school and how I was in high school was leading to a path of destruction.
Yeah.
But man,
man.
it takes that one. But it takes that one person to believe in you, man.
Oh, no,
you know what I'm
that's all it
saying?
takes,
It takes one person to be like, man, you better than your current situation.
Yeah.
One person believe you,
You know?
get you believe in yourself.
Yeah, man.
It's.
Take you a whole different path.
I'm just so glad I listened.
Yeah.
Because a lot. The thing is, most of us got that person that believe in us. It's about whether or not
for sure.
you listen.
Exactly. That's all.
I'm
it
just
is,
happy
bro.
I listened, man, because we've seen it back in the hood. We were talking about it before we got on here, man. There's a lot of folks with potential,
A lot.
A lot of
and for the rest of their life,
And
we'll be
wasted.
talking about I
You
could
get what they used to.
have, I could have done, I could have been better than him. I could have, I'm like,
You did.
could have don't sign
Yeah.
one check
At all.
you know. But
But that's
Yeah, man.
Listen, I'm gonna give you your flowers right here, bro. You're doing big things, bro.
Yeah,
Keep
man.
doing what you're
Proud
doing,
of you,
bro.
man.
I'm proud of you for real.
Yeah,
same, man, y'all
Keep
too,
doing your
man.
thing. Listen,
It's-
but
man.
we out of here, man. You know that's another episode to make something shake. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. You feel me? We out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dope, man. This is a dope podcast, bro.
Pseudo cool